Hey guys, it's Monet with Tick Life, and today I want to talk about prepping for state assessments. In this video, I really want to discuss how we can create a comfortable and confident and happy environment during this stressful and chaotic time period. So this is especially for those teachers that teach in a test grade. If you don't, still watch. You never know what maybe you can do to soothe your kids for even just basic assessments. I do believe that there are people that don't test well, not because they don't know the material, but because they simply have test anxiety. I am one of those people. I will knock a course out of the window, but when it comes to assessments, my nerves will generally get the best of me. I don't know if it's the time crunch. I don't know if it's the pressure of the amount of weight for that score. I don't know what it is, but I will freeze up. In my past experience as a teacher, I've had two students, 2 separate years. The first year I taught 5th grade, I had a student literally projectile vomit and have a seizure and fall to the floor. Like, that was the experience. It was very traumatic as a first year teacher. The second year, they moved from paper to computer. We're in the computer lab. A student says, I don't feel good, and vomits in the computer lab. It was just a very smelly situation. But that is just how much nerves can affect the body, it can affect the mind, it can affect the environment. So something that I like to do, number one, student focused, is build the confidence of my students. Let them know, hey, you have all the strategies you need, whether that's in their interactive notebook, their student portfolio, whatever you have that you can show them, hey, you're intelligent, you're smart, you know this, you're ready. I also like to do like simple chants just to get them pepped up and ready. Again, it's all about keeping that energy positive, not necessarily like hype. You don't want them so hyped that they're not focused and they're kind of scatterbrained, but you don't want them drained and dreading this testing experience. And like I said, with the student portfolio, we know what they're going to be tested on. And so what I like to do, like let's say we start testing in May. Well, excuse me, April. Cut it out, Monet. April. But in January, what I typically like to do with students is I like to look at glows and grows. I don't say strengths and weaknesses because those words, yeah. Some kids just have a negative connotation with them. But I like to say glows, you did well with this, you've mastered this, wow, look at you, we're going to be learning some new things, but you have really done well with this. And then I'll show grows. Hey, you know how you're doing really well right here? Let's try to focus on this part, and I'm going to work with you during the week on this, and sometimes I'll pull you aside and we'll look at blah 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 blah, and they know you have their back, right? So that's building relationship, that's building confidence, that's letting a student know specifically what they need to be working on, so you kind of have them focused, right? So that's what I like to do with students. What I like to do with parents is exactly the same thing. I practice communication through Class Dojo. If you do not use Class Dojo, maybe you use newsletters or monthly newsletters. So you might do weekly, you might do monthly. I mean, there are so many ways in today's society. I think there's another app that I used to use, but I don't use it anymore. But it's like a text message, and you can also text PDFs. And if I think of it, I will put it at the bottom of the screen. But there are so many ways to communicate to parents. I don't wait to communicate to parents just because of behavior or special events at the school. I pretty much talk to parents, if not every day, 3 to 4 times a week. Like they know what we're learning. They know my expectations. They know about events. They know about missing school supplies. Like, they know who I am. What I like to do with parents is I like to assure them throughout the school year that we are not, how can I say this? I don't wait till the very last minute to start getting your child ready for testing. We're learning bit by bit. We're mastering bit by bit. We're discussing weaknesses throughout the school year. So just like how little Timmy knows he doesn't do well with nonfiction takes. You also know, and I'm sending home materials and links that they can practice on at school. I also like to have students share their strategies because I do personal ankle charts. I like for students to go home and share and recite and practice and brag about how they know this strategy and how they know this content. And I like for them to summarize what we've talked about in class. So in my dojo messages, I'll say, hey, today we read the volcano in blah, blah, blah. Ask your students this question, this question, this question, and see if they know the answers. And this gets them in the place of, instead of them saying, hey, how was your day? They could say, hey, I heard you read about volcanoes today. Tell me this, tell me this, tell me this. And so that way they feel like they're more engaged in their students' learning. But also when you get to April, when it's now state assessment times, parents are a little bit more trusting. They're not as like, is my child ready? What do they need to know? What can I do? What can I buy? Like all of that is kind of pushed to the side a little bit because they have a rapport with you. They know the strategies that you sent home. They know how to access those strategies, where they can be found with their student. And so that again builds that confidence level. So now we focused on the student, we focused on parents. Let's focus on what you can do as the teacher. Number one, tell yourself, I have done my absolute best. You're at the end of the road, okay? Like you can literally see the bus stop in the distance. Like you're about to get off of this bus. You're about to let these 20-something students, 30-something, God bless you, students go, right? But you have done your absolute best. You've stayed as long as you could, certain days. You've taught lessons to the best of your abilities. You've reflected, you've conferenced, you've looked at data, you've gone to faculty meetings, you've gone to data meetings, you've gone to RTI meetings. Look, you're rocking it, okay? So tell yourself, I'm rocking it. Like, I'm not gonna stress out. Something that I also like to do is during this time, with it being so chaotic mentally, I really like to keep a clean work environment. So I'm not gonna have as much as that sounds hard, but I try to lower my paper flow. We have a lot of digital learning occurring. That way I also get quick feedback as well. If you want to know about those tools, please let me know in the comment sections below, and I can send you some tools that you can use to digitally assess your students so that you're still getting that feedback. You're still test prepping in a sense, but you don't have papers everywhere. And also when you want to send that information to parents, it's digitally saved to your computer. You can save it and email it directly to that parent. I mean, look, technology is your friend during this time, but you want to keep a clean work environment. Same with students, encourage them to keep their work environment clean. What I usually do is I have their interactive notebooks where they can touch, their book bins where they can touch, so that when they need to use a tool, they have it. This is the best time to continue to reinforce your learning expectations. And the last thing that I will say, because we focus on, my pinky. We focused on building the confidence of the student, calming down those parents that are worried out of their mind. We've talked about you a little bit. We've talked about administration a little bit. So the last thing that I really want to talk about is during testing. So we all know that during testing, the school schedule is completely off. Lunch is off. Specials is canceled. Like, the building is absolutely a mess, right? So 9 times out of 10, I don't know about at your school. I've been at schools where you could test your own classroom with, of course, another proctor. I've also been in schools where you don't teach your grade at all. So like, in Georgia, 3rd, 4th, and 5th take the Georgia milestones. So last year I actually assessed 3rd grade, 5th grade did 4th grade, 3rd grade did 5th grade. Like, we all just kind of switched and went all over the place. And of course we had a proctor who was a specials teacher or an intervention teacher. So I'm not sure what your order will be. But something I like to do for my students is I like to let them know, okay, on Monday we will be testing. You need to be here by this time. Please eat light. And the only reason why I tell my students to eat light is because, again, I've had 2 experiences where they vomit. And I feel like the more you have on your stomach sometimes, when you do get those nerves and jitters, the more it will come up. So if they eat enough to stay awake, but they don't eat enough to get full, if they should get sick, it won't be so bad. But I tell them to eat light. I tell them to get to school at a certain time. When they come in the morning, usually the desks are a certain way because they have to be spaced. They can't be sitting next to people. Like, it's a big shebang when it comes to how people want kids to sit. But usually I'll have their name tag. So I'll say, guys, when you come in, I want you to enter in quietly. I'll have on like smooth jazz, something that's calm and relaxing, not too slow because I don't want to put them back to sleep, but just, like a good feel type of music. A lot of times I'll have like a light activity. So they're not coloring because, again, their environment has to be clean, but it's just something simple and fun that they can do, but it's not like super strenuous because you don't want to test them before a test. Not even gonna go there. So I'll have that little activity. One year we actually had morning powwows. So it was kind of like they all came to the carpet. We did one of those chants. I might have said a strategy or 2, and then I was like, good, go get them. You got it. Like coaching them, pepping them up. You bad. Go on in there. You're gonna knock that test out. So we would kind of do like a morning carpet thing, but be careful. Because, that morning carpet meeting can turn on you. And kids start voicing their fears. And then that fear leaves Timmy and it goes to John. And then it goes from John to Sarah. And then next thing you know, you got a whole group of like panicked kids. So I've kind of gone back to, okay, you stay at your seat. Go to the one with your name tag. Here's a fun activity, crossword, something very simple. We're playing light music. During the test, I have passed out peppermint to students that are looking a little dreary. And of course, you can let them go to the bathroom on specific breaks, not during the test. When it's testing, it's like, hey, we're locked down, don't move. But those are just some things that I like to do. I like to tell the kids in advance what to expect during the testing environment so they're not thrown off. I tell them lunch is going to be at a different time. I tell them recess is going to be at a different time. I just let them know that don't expect to come to school next week and everything be simple. So that way for everything to be the same. So that way when they come the next week, they're not thrown off by all of the movement and transitioning and the tardiness of lunch and recess, because you will get questions throughout the day like, when are we going to eat? When am I going to see you? Are you coming back? Yes, I'm coming back. I'm testing another class. I'll be back at so-and-so time. Like, just kind of let them know what to expect. So I hope this video has been really, really helpful. This is my question of the day, and I want you to leave your answer in the comment section below. How do you build confidence, and how do you help your students to be comfortable in this season of testing? Even if you're in 2nd grade and 1st grade, I know sometimes you all take little assessments too. So what are some strategies and things that you do? You never know who's going to read your comment and get inspired or try to really use something that you're doing in your classroom. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that now. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and like it as well while you're at it. All right, so I will see you guys soon. As you see, I kind of have a new setup. So I will be making some more videos, and I want you to know when those videos are coming out. So go ahead and subscribe so it can be on your feed. All right, love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Please leave those answers below. I really want to know what you're doing, and I can't wait to talk to you guys soon. Continue to tick on. Bye.